In the United Kingdom, you have the National Health Service. It is 70 or so years old. It is probably, one might argue, the United Kingdom's finest invention, because it is an organization that is double-winged. It has a head and it has a heart, and it does those things brilliantly. Not perfectly, but brilliantly. Look at what an operating theatre in a hospital looked like 100 years ago. Look at an operating theatre now. In order to get to the hospital, I need a car. Look at a car of 100 years ago. Look at a car now. When I fly to Istanbul, 100 years ago, that aeroplane, or the Turkish Airlines flight now. Look how the world has changed. And look how, in schooling terms, we still deliver the same thing, but we expect outcomes that meet that changed world. It's not going to work, is it? At some point, we're going to need to be brave enough and take stock and drive change. And I don't think, incidentally, that that change will come from politicians. Politicians, by and large, are populist, want to be re-elected, and they're not specialists. The Secretary of State for Education is not an education specialist, and many of the people he or she surrounds themselves with are not specialists either. And actually, quite often, they are either too arrogant or too proud to talk to the specialists and listen to what they've got to say. It's a very strange thing, is education, in that it is shaped by people who know very little about it. And the people who know lots about it are deliberately ignored. There is, of course, also a question about education is something that we all do, that we all have a responsibility for, and that businesses, for example, go back to that Industrial Revolution example, businesses have a vested interest. And businesses at the moment, those 100 years later, don't necessarily behave anymore as if they have a vested interest. They sit and they wait for the children to come out of school, and then they go, they haven't got the skills we need. But actually, unfold your arms, roll up your sleeves, and go and work in those schools to have better achievements. Then I think there's another point that is, for me, the biggest difference between 100 years ago and now. And it is a lesson that we need to learn very quickly. The purpose of schooling 100 years ago was clear. It was related to the economy and the Industrial Revolution. It's the same 200 years ago. That story was there. We need to ask ourselves the question now, or a number of questions. Why do we send children to school, and why is it still the same?